A young boy wakes up from a weird nightmare where he fights the Demon King. The nightmare is actually a spoiler, but we'll get to that soon. His name is Keyaru, and he dreams of becoming a hero. One day he comes across the Star Spirit. The Star Spirit kisses his eyes and grants him the power of the spirits. Keyaru's right eye turns green and he starts seeing the information and stats of all the things. He also gets a vision of a group of great heroes fighting a powerful demon lord. He's also on the side of the heroes, just like he always dreamt of. When the others go down, Keyaru fights the demon lord alone and uses his powers to defeat her. Before she dies, she says that she was just protecting something. Keyaru gets the heart of the demon lord, which is a philosopher's stone. But instead of giving it to the heroes, Keyaru shockingly abandons them and uses the philosopher's stone to travel back in time. Apparently, he has his reasons for doing that. Everything that Keyaru just saw already happened. He was treated terribly by the heroes, worse than an animal. So he traveled back in time to take revenge. Now, he just got his memories back from his past life. When he regains his memories, he prepares for his revenge by eating some mushrooms and drugs to build resistance and not be addicted. Just like in his memories, the hero princess Flare comes to his village to take him, because he now has the mark of the hero. She treats him well, but when she finds out that Keyaru is of the healer class, she becomes disgusted because Flare does not take healer seriously. Still, her father, King Prume, grants him the title Hero of Recovery. Keyaru uses his magic eye to see that King Prume is super powerful, and he should execute his revenge when the king is not around. Later, Keyaru is resting in his new room in the palace when a maid comes to have honka honka with him. Keyaru uses the power to absorb other people's memories and experiences. He does this with all the maids of the castle, every night. The man has got some serious riz. Later, Flare commands him to heal the arm of a powerful sword saint, Kureha. Keyaru regrows Kureha's amputated arm, but the side effect is that he goes through all of Kureha's experiences. The whole thing nearly drives him mad. Seeing him become unconscious after one healing, Flare is even more disgusted, but Keyaru is just pretending all for his revenge. When Flare asks him to continue healing other heroes, Keyaru pretends to be scared, just like in his memories, so Flare does not force him, for now. Flare sends Keyaru some tea to calm him down. Because of his memories, Keyaru knows that the tea is drugged, but he still drinks it. He faints and wakes up in the dungeons where the captain of the knights, Leonard, beats the crap out of him. They also feed Keyaru drugs to make him addicted. After that, Flare sends lots of knights every night to sexually abuse Keyaru. Night after night, men and women all take advantage of Keyaru. When Flare comes in, Keyaru does whatever she tells him to, even acting like a dog. But he's just pretending to be addicted because he has already developed a resistance to the drugs. In the daytime, he's forced to heal other people. Keyaru also uses his other power to take the person's experiences and skills, and then he quickly pretends to pass out. At night, he's abused again. This goes on and on and on for over 6 months. One night, Keyaru overhears that King Prume has gone to another country. Now that the powerful king is out, Keyaru begins his revenge. He uses alchemy, a skill that he absorbed from others, to break his chains and cell locks, but Leonard quickly captures him and brings him to Flare. Well, there goes that revenge plan. Leonard says that Keyaru revealed a serious secret and he must talk to Flare in private. There in Flare's private quarters, Leonard quickly kills her bodyguards. Then he uses a power to steal Flare's powers. It actually turns out to be Keyaru, and he used sword skills that he learned from the sword saint Kureha. Flare is shocked to see Keyaru in this state, that he remembers everything despite being drugged. She begs for her life, but that's way too easy. He breaks her fingers one by one. If she does not scream until the end, then he will let her go. But if she does, then he will continue his revenge. Keyaru breaks 9 of her fingers, and Flare actually manages not to scream until then. But Keyaru just heals her fingers and starts all over again. This time, she screams. So Keyaru prepares to violate her, but Flare yells that she's a princess, too good for a peasant like him. Keyaru takes a red-hot poker from the fireplace and gives her a simple choice: my rod or this rod. If she does not choose, then she'll get both. Of course, she begs for his rod. Keyaru laughs and gives it to her. Once he's done with her, he changes her face and erases her memories. Then he changes a dead body to look like Flare and sets up the whole thing as if Leonard did it. He escapes with the real Flare and changes his own face as well, changing his name to Keyaru. So folks, that's what we'll be calling him now, Keyaru. Now that Flare does not remember her own past, Keyaru gives her a new name, Freya, and says that she's his attendant and lover. Then he claps her again. As they are leaving the city, Flare's supposed death has created a stir. They also talk about Princess Norn, the younger sister of Flare. Based on his memories of his previous life, Norn is even more sadistic and dangerous than Flare, even though she cannot use magic. So Keyaru does not want to be involved with her in this new life. Thinking about his past life, Flare also used to pour the drug on her own kitty cat and make Keyaru lick it, giving her pleasure. If he got hard, she would kick his nuts again and again. Then she used to pour the drug in his pole and force him to suck his own rod. Seeing this, a female knight named Blade used to get extremely jealous for getting to pleasure Flare, so Blade used to take her anger out by beating Keyaru. Then she used to lick his tongue because that tongue licked Flare. His body would be broken and abused, but it's the turn of another knight named Bullet, a pervert who had a thing for young boys. He also used to penetrate and abuse him, all the while saying that he loves him. Keyaru wakes up from his memories. They go to a new city where Keyaru uses his special right eye to see that the water is contaminated. People are already starting to show symptoms of illness, but he still drinks it. Then he uses the antibodies in his body to create a medicine with his blood. Then he sells the medicine to a merchant, earning lots of gold coins in the process. Keyaru goes to buy a slave. Freya sympathizes with the slaves because they lost their freedom and they're treated badly. That has got to be the most ironic statement. Keyaru uses his special eye to check the slaves and settles on a combat slave from the Wolf clan. My boy is into furries. Her name is Setsuna, and she has a strange illness and a terrible rage. Setsuna tries to attack him, but Keyaru still chooses her because she seems to have a deep grudge over someone. Keyaru heals Setsuna, and through her memories, he finds out the human troops attacked her friends and sold them into slavery. She wants to take revenge against the humans who did it. On top of that, more soldiers are going to attack the rest of the village. Setsuna wakes up, shocked that her body has been physically healed. She fights Keyaru, but he's too strong for her. He promises to increase her powers, but she must reveal her true name to him. Doing so will make her stronger, but also make her a complete slave to him. Setsuna takes the deal to save the rest of her village. They complete the ritual by clapping each other. Then they go to the village where soldiers have already enslaved the women of the Ice Wolf clan. The other warriors of the clan go out to fight the soldiers and a battle begins. Keyaru puts on a mask and joins the battle, killing the soldiers using skills that he received from Kureha. Freya also kills several soldiers without realizing that they are her own soldiers. Once the army is dispersed, Setsuna joins the battle and goes berserk on the soldiers. After the battle is over, Keyaru and Freya celebrate with the rest of the clan. The clan reveals that they used a dead monster to contaminate the river and create illness for the humans. Keyaru offers to increase the strength of the contamination even more, but Setsuna asks him to turn the river into medicine. She does not want to kill innocent humans. Keyaru heals the river and then they clap. Setsuna vows to kill even more evil humans and she gives her true name to him. Meanwhile, Leonard, who still looks like Keyaru, is brought before King Prum. Prum also believes Flare is dead, so he commands Leonard to kill the real Keyaru. Elsewhere, Keyaru and the two girls are playing around in the river. And yeah, they have a threesome. The merchant from earlier threatens Keyaru and demands the recipe for the illness. Now Keyaru can easily kill them, but he still gives him the recipe for 500 gold coins. It's useless anyway. The illness will go away soon because Keyaru already healed the river. As they're going back, they're suddenly attacked by the sword saint Kureha. She believes the soldiers were protecting the wolf village and Keyaru wrongfully killed them. Even when Setsuna tells the truth, Kureha thinks that they have been brainwashed. So Keyaru and Kureha fight. Since Keyaru has taken the experience of tons of knights, including Kureha, he can go toe-to-toe with her. He uses an aphrodisiac on her and she becomes horny and vulnerable. Then he shows her his own memories of the wolf village, proving that the soldiers were the guilty ones. Kureha's mind breaks and she passes out. Keyaru heals her, but Kureha still cannot believe that soldiers of the Joral Empire would do such evil things. Keyaru reveals that the kingdom often abducts demi-humans and sells them as slaves. Then he reveals his real face. Freya also comes in wearing her princess uniform. She says that they are trying to expose the dark side of the Empire, but Leonard tried to kill her, so she faked her death and escaped. Now Kureha starts to believe. But Freya is just acting the role of Flare under Keyaru's commands. She does not know that she really is the princess. Kureha remembers how Keyaru once healed her arm, so she decides to join him to bring justice to the kingdom. Also, she's still turned on by the aphrodisiac, so she kisses him. And yes, Keyaru claps her as well. Meanwhile, Leonard has taken the people from Keyaru's old village as prisoners. Kureha quickly gets close to Keyaru and this causes the other girls to be jealous. Just then, Leonard, who looks like Keyaru, brings the villagers to the town. He has also taken Keyaru's adoptive mother, Anna, as his personal slave. So Keyaru takes on the face of one of the soldiers that he fought earlier. Then he sneakily meets a soldier and gives him a letter to pass to Captain Leonard. The soldier also reveals that Leonard has abused Anna and took fun doing it. Keyaru becomes furious. Reading the letter, Leonard comes to meet Keyaru, where he reveals his true face. But Keyaru uses a neurotoxin to knock them all out. Then he reads Leonard's memories and sees how he attacked the village and violated the women inside, especially Anna. He also finds out that Norn was the mastermind behind the attack, so he changes Leonard into a woman. Then he makes Leonard's own soldiers super horny. Leonard's own soldiers completely abuse him. Him. Then Keyaru goes to save Anna, but her mind is completely broken. He tries to heal her, but it's useless and she dies. Keyaru gets depressed, so Freya and Setsuna offer themselves to him. He takes their offer and claps them way harder than he had before. all the while he's crying in memory of Anna. Later, Kureha informs him that the villagers will be executed in 5 days. It's just a plan to lure him out. The location has powerful magical barriers that can absorb magic. Still, Keyaru vows to save his villagers. Keyaru thinks of his past life. Norn was even more sadistic and made him do everything that Freya used to make him do, including servicing her down there. On the day of the execution, Keyaru goes to the front, while the people chant for the soldiers to kill him. Keyaru quickly uses his skills to instantly kill many soldiers. Seeing this, the other soldiers kill several villagers, but that does not stop him. Instead, he sees this as an excuse to take revenge. The soldier activates the barrier to drain his powers, but Freya and Setsuna have already hacked the barrier and it kills the soldiers instead. Keyaru is stained red in their blood. Just then, Freya makes a hologram all over the stadium, claiming to be Princess Flare, which she is, but she does not remember anything. She reveals that their own Joral kingdom attacks its own citizens and sells them as slaves. The people are confused about whether they should believe her or not, so she sings a beautiful song and then creates a sun, apparently a power that only Flare could do. The people start believing her, so she says that Keyaru is the one who saved her. She asks the people to join them in curing the kingdom. The people rush to the stadium and kill all the soldiers. Keyaru manages to save only one boy from his old village, but he has been poisoned, so he pays the merchant to take care of them. Then Kureha tells them that Princess Norn will be leading an expedition at a nearby city called Branica. So Keyaru and the other two go there while Kureha stays behind to gather more information. Branica is also where the demon lord from his past life will be, and he is looking forward to meeting her. They spend their journey making love whenever they can, which must be pretty fun. Keyaru admits that he sees these two girls as just toys, as his property. They finally arrive in Branica, which is the only city where humans, demi-humans, and demons live together in harmony. They go to a pub where they share a table with some cheerful people, but suddenly, the demon lord also joins them. Only Keyaru recognizes her for what she is. He reads her stats and sees that she's not the demon lord yet in this life. She's just a candidate for now, and even her hair is black instead of silver. This demon girl is from the Black Wings tribe, but she's hiding that fact because the current demon lord is hunting the Black Wings clan. Just then, someone attacks them with powerful magic. Freya and Setsuna struggle, but the girl holds it back easily. However, she did get hit with a paralyzing arrow. Some monsters come to attack her, but Keyaru just uses his powers to destroy his body. Then they escape. Once she gets well, he tells her that she'll be the demon lord in 4 years. He also knows her name, Eve. Eve is cautious of him. After all, the current demon lord is trying to kill all Blackwing members. But Keyaru promises to take care of her and help her become the new demon lord so that her clan will not be targeted. In return, Keyaru wants the heart of the current demon lord. Eve says that she'll decide in the morning. In the morning, Eve wakes up and sees Keyaru and the 3 girls having a little morning exercise. Eve starts blushing because she's not used to these things. During dinner, Keyaru tells Eve that honka honka time is the best thing about being on a trip. They also make a deal. On top of the current demon lord's heart, Keyaru also wants Eve to end the war between demons and humans in other parts of the world. That's because the Joral Kingdom is using the war to make a profit and innocents die on both sides. Eve agrees, in return for his help in defeating the current demon lord and becoming the new demon lord. Later, Keyaru changes his face and goes to gather information, but the assassins from yesterday attack him again by following his smell. So Keyaru plans to attack them that night. But of course, before that, some bad exercise with the girls. Eve does not join them, but she does touch herself while listening through the door. That night, Keyaru and Setsuna ambush the assassins and interrogate them. The assassins admit that they're the only ones who know that Eve is a candidate to be the demon lord. Keyaru leaves them trapped with a very horny bull monster. Later, he spies Princess Norn entering the city with her elite soldiers, along with him his blade. Keyaru licks his lips, ready for further revenge. However, there is another powerful knight with him, Hawkeye. Keyaru has to be careful of him. That night, Blade takes a normal girl from the city and she, well, you know it, she drugs and then abuses her. The next day, Keyaru hears about this, so he plans to trap Blade by turning into a girl, so yeah, he's the trap. The other girls dress him and fawn over him a lot. Then Keyaru goes to the bar where Blade is known to hang around. Blade immediately starts to hit on her. Him. Then she offers her a drink spiked with sleeping powder and aphrodisiac. When Keyaru declines it, Blade puts it in her mouth and forces Keyaru to drink it by kissing. Once he falls asleep, Blade takes her back to her place, but the father of the abused girl from last night attacks her. Keyaru is forced to wake up and fight right there. Blade uses her sword Ragnarok, which enhances the user's strength and healing factors, making her a formidable foe. Even a poison needle is not effective. Blade defeats Keyaru and takes her back to her bed. She starts kissing and touching Keyaru down there, but instead of a cave, she feels a rod. Keyaru reveals that he's a man and Blade just seduced and kissed a man. She starts puking. Keyaru stabs her with poison and she passes out. Keyaru paralyzes Blade's legs and plays a game with her. 3 big men have been drugged with a potion that makes them super hungry but also super horny. Blade has to satisfy their lust until morning, else she'll be eaten by them. Now Blade hates men and she can't even bear touching them, but she's too scared for her life and so she starts pleasing them. Meanwhile, Keyaru drinks wine and eats some tasty ribs. Blade does her best, but at one point, she can't do it anymore, so the men eat her because of their hunger. Once she dies, Blade's weapon Ragnarok turns into a round gem. It's actually a divine weapon that turns into the weapon best suited for the user. During this time, Keyaru builds a friendship with a local merchant, Carman. Keyaru sells valuable potions and Carman pays him well for them. Keyaru takes the divine weapon that he took from Blade and wishes for devastation and immortality. So, it turns into the sacred armor, Gorgeous. After getting Gorgeous, Keyaru is so fired up that he, well, same as always with Freya and Setsuna, while Eve touches herself in the next room. One day, Princess Norn goes in front of all the people and makes an announcement that the demons in the city are bad and controlling humans, even though they're actually living in peace. Some of Norn's own men start screaming at her and all the other citizens also do the same, creating a lot of chaos. One of Norn's men rushes to her but Hawkeye stops him. Norn pretends to be shocked and says that the demons are mind-controlling the humans. This was all her plan. Now she has a reason to attack the citizens of the city, especially the demons. One of the victims is Carman. Keyaru goes to heal him but he's already dead. He gets angry and lashes out against some soldiers with Gorgeous. He single-handedly kills a huge portion of Norn's elite army. Once again, Freya makes a hologram of herself and addresses the city as Princess Flare. She says that the demons and humans live in the city in harmony and they are not enemies. Hearing this, even Norn's soldiers realize that they're just massacring innocent people, so they just drop their weapons. However, Norn remembers that her sister was a racist person and she would never talk about love and coexistence. She realizes that Flare is probably being brainwashed right now. Keyaru makes a quick entrance, but Hawkeye stops him with his arrows and they get into a fight. Hawkeye stabs Keyaru, but Gorgeous just heals him. Keyaru also has the skills and experience of dozens of knights, so he manages to defeat Hawkeye. Then he kidnaps Norn and takes her to a secret place. He reads her memories and confirms that she was the mastermind behind Leonard's attack on his village. Then he slaps her and chokes her for killing Carman. And finally, the game. Freya comes in dressed up like a dog. Freya will pleasure Norn and she will have to spend one night without reaching the climax. If she wins, she's let go. If she loses, then she becomes Keyaru's slave. It's super weird because these two are sisters. Yeah, it's cursed. Let's just get to the end. As expected, Norn reaches her climax pretty soon. So Keyaru claps Freya right on top of Norn. My god. Then it's Norn's turn. After she's broken, Keyaru changes Norn's face, changes her memories, and gives her a new name, Ellen. Ellen's new backstory is that she's Keyaru's younger sister who loves her brother very ew. Kureha also joins them in the city and they all have a nice little GB. Keyaru, Flare, Setsuna, Kureha, and Norn. Eve just touches herself while peeping from the outside. Their adventure continues. He'll defeat the current Demon Lord. Then he will use the Philosopher's Stone from the Demon Lord's heart to finally defeat King Prum. Before leaving the city, Keyaru drops some flowers at Carmen's grave. He also gets gifts from two people whom he saved, the ones whom he ate and drank with when they entered the city. But now he also has to remember his revenge on Bullet, the man who abused him for so long. We see Bullet in his room, hugging Keyaru's posters. He's an absolute pervert, this one. Keyaru is happy to have so many powerful and obedient women with him. He can't wait to change the world.
Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on the notification, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.